Resident Evil Survivor turned out to be a complete disaster, but apparently Capcom had a lot of faith in the idea. They retried the concept multiple times, even with a Dino Crisis spin-off called Dino Stalker. Resident Evil Dead Aim is the fourth entry in these Survivor games, and sadly, it's not much better than the first one. The evil Morpheus, an ex-Umbrella Corporation scientist, is holding the world at ransom from the safety of his luxurious cruise ship. He demands $5 billion from both the United States and China, or else Morpheus will launch T-virus missiles, spreading the zombie infection throughout the respective country. The United States sends in Bruce McGivern to save the day, and China sends in Fong Ling to get in Bruce's way.
Wait, you saved me earlier. You're Chinese Security Bureau, huh? Looks like we're in the same business.
Same business doesn't mean same side, Bruce McGivern.
You already know my name.
Eventually, the two learn to work together, but it does take a while. Also, minor spoilers, but it does happen early enough, and it's worth mentioning for how dumb it is. Morpheus injects himself with a new virus strain, the T+G virus. Yes, it's as stupid as it sounds. The virus transforms him into a powerful tyrant monster, which comes complete with lightning powers, a set of breasts, and even high heels. I don't know what the sex change is all about, but this is what Capcom has to give us. If you can somehow believe it, the voice acting is just as bad as Resident Evil Survivor, but for different reasons. Instead of being overacted, it's just poorly acted. The inflection of the actors' voices is all over the place, and everyone speaks at a really low volume, so it's often difficult to understand what anyone is saying. Subtitles would normally be helpful here, but they are laughably inaccurate. Seriously, it's insane how off the subtitles are throughout the entire game.
Should have left by now. Somewhere in America there's a kitten stuck in a tree, desperately needing your help.
It's like the voice actors were given a script, but then they were told that it's only a suggestion, and they can say whatever they want. It's completely nuts. I am happy to say that the gameplay is somewhat better than Resident Evil Survivor. That's not saying much, but at least it's something. Movement is now handled in third person, utilizing the GunCon 2's integrated D-pad. Pulling the trigger will switch to first person, allowing Bruce to attack. Combat is much faster and way more satisfying than it was in Survivor, and steps were taken to keep the game more in line with traditional Resident Evil games. Inventory space is smaller this time around, and the handgun's ammo is no longer unlimited. Jumping in and out of the menu to reload or switch weapons is thankfully no longer a hassle. Enemies are also faster and much more aggressive. Hunters were a total joke in Survivor, but they're much more of a threat in this game. Weak points have also been implemented. Zombies take more damage from headshots, which helps keep the combat a little more fun. It's a blanket improvement overall, but it's still far from good. Although the cruise ship is a little more open-ended and does require some exploration, it's still an extremely linear game. The player will sometimes have to switch back and forth between first and third person to reposition themselves quickly, mostly during boss fights, but it is awkward to do and feels clunky. It's also not uncommon to go on for a bit of a stretch where there are just a few non-threatening zombies and that's it. No combat or any meaningful action, just walking down an empty hallway. Here's the thing, Dead Aim would not have been much better as a traditional Resident Evil game. It's still a slow, dumb game with no interesting level design and hardly any puzzles. It's a massive improvement from Resident Evil Survivor, but it suffers from the same problem. Why wasn't this just a traditional light gun rail shooter? I really don't understand why the game was designed like this. Capcom simply tacked on a gimmick to their formula without figuring out how to make it work properly. Look, if you gotta play an off-rails light gun game, then sure, I guess this one is worth checking out. But you're better off forgetting about it altogether. At some point, I'd like to try out Resident Evil Survivor 2, which never got a US release, as well as Dino Stalker, but I really don't have much hope at this point. The best there probably is would be the Umbrella Chronicles games that came out more recently, which are more along the lines of traditional rail shooters. They're not amazing games either, but they are good at what they set out to do. At the very least, they're a lot better than this trash. I will say that Dead Aim is almost worth checking out just to see those subtitles for yourself.
Think that cheap cologne you're wearing is going to your head. What do you plan to do with the T-virus? What's your name? If cooperation is too much to ask for on our first date, might I suggest we simply stay out of each other's way?
You will not destroy this for me.
A scared little rat with an ugly, useless gun.
That alarm can't be any good. Any idea what it's for?
Look!
Oh no!
Thank you for watching my review on Resident Evil Dead Aim. If you'd like to be updated on my future videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, or check out my Discord page.